Namaste. Hello. Welcome to second episode of EcoFashion. Today we are very happy to have Shikha Shah, the CEO and founder of Scrapshala, joining us to share her expertise on sustainable business and the journey of Scrapshala. She will share her insights and learnings from building and running a successful sustainable business. Scrapshala was featured on Shark Tank where they presented their amazing innovative idea. Tune in to hear more about Scrapshala's mission and how they are making a positive impact on fashion industry and our environment. So, welcome to the podcast. And firstly, when did Scrapshala start and how did the journey begin?
So Scrapshala started in 2016 from the balcony of my own house in Varanasi. I have been brought up in Varanasi, and my mother, who has always been a very creative and conscious consumer, it was started for her so that she can remain engaged for the remaining part of her life, as she was always a homemaker, but she was very conscious in consuming and always recreating things. So I started it with a vision to set a business for my mom, but eventually I also joined, and today what it is, you all can see.
Great. So, can you explain the significance behind the company's name, Scrapshala?
So Scrapshala, we started as a venture for upcycling. So upcycling is a very, it's a very recent term. Recent as in probably 15, 20 years back. It wasn't, recycling was something which we all used to speak, and still majority of people, when they hear about something getting reused, they think it's recycled. So upcycling is basically upgrading. Recycling is downgrading. So recycling means you're consuming a lot of energy, a lot of resources to make new of something which is of redundant usage now. And in upcycling, you don't change the chemical composition of the original product. For example, a plastic bottle, when recycled 3 to 4 times, becomes toxic in nature because all the chemical bonds are broken. Compared to how upcycling does, it doesn't change the chemical composition of the original bottle. It might cut it into strips and then make a product, or use the product in original form and just deshape it without exposing it to too much heat or granules. So that's what upcycling does. So we started with the name Scrapshala because we knew that we will be dealing with scrap. And then so after we figured out that we are going to be an upcycling company. Next challenge was that how will we do it? How will we make the products? Because initially my mom used to make, but of course she is not a professional artist and she does it out of her head. So now the challenge was to get professional people who would do it. So Varanasi being very rich in wooden handicraft, there are in fact 4 artist clusters in Varanasi. A lot of people have heard of sea silk saris, and then we have blue meenakari work, we have wooden toys, and then we have stone jali work. So there's a pool of artisans who have now been misplaced. Either they are working as vegetable vendors, they are rickshaw pullers. So because handicraft industry really saw a dip a decade back. And now with a lot of support from government, exports, again, I think handicraft is given a boost. So we were trying to revive the lost artisanal skills and bring a lot of these artisans back into their original profession through our venture Scrapshala. So now we became a company which was creating employment opportunities for skilled local artisans through upcycling. So we just replaced their basic material with scrap. So now they were doing a similar thing, but they were using scrap as the raw material.
Got it. So, how many individuals make up the team at Scrapshala currently?
So we have more than 100 local artisans who are associated with us for different product lines.
Great.
Core team have around 10 people.
That's great. So, can you tell what kinds of products does Scrapshala produce to our audience?
We are right now into 4 main categories, which is home decor, lifestyle, gifting, and festivals. So inside these main categories, there is a wide product basket. For example, in home decor, we have outdoor furniture, indoor furniture, table placements, cafe decor, key holders, wall decor. Similarly, in lifestyle, we have housekeeping products, we have personal care products, we have wearable accessories, bags, and festivals like for all festivals, Raksha Bandhan, Diwali, Christmas, Holi, we have sustainable alternatives. So if you have been using a lot of single-use plastic decorations or unsustainable products for celebrating festival, we are trying to create alternatives for it.
Yeah.
Um, in our gifting, we have personalized gifting options. We have sustainable zero waste kits, a lot of product baskets, which can be just bought as a gift item, which will be beautifully packed also. And then, yeah, I think these are the major four categories.
Got
And
it.
right now, we're with 10 categories material, which we are converting into product line.
Okay, and I also really love your products. They look really aesthetic. So, who are your target customers?
So our target customers are right now people who are educated, who are conscious,
Yeah.
and who have who have capacity to spend money. Like we right now, sustainability comes at a little bit of premium rate because of low volumes, and our venture is completely artisan driven, so the products become a bit higher in cost. So
Yeah.
right now we are looking at people who are very conscious in nature, who are ready to change their lifestyles, and who are not really struggling with the basics of life. Eventually, any product which flows in the market has to be like this. First group of people who can afford the product will buy, and then
Yeah.
eventually cost will come down. Then it will go to lower section, and then it becomes a mass product.
Okay, got it. So, Scrapshala and Scrapshala's products were recently featured on Shark Tank India also. So, what was the experience like in Shark Tank?
It was a great experience. I mean, irrespective of you get a deal or you don't get a deal, when you get aired on television, and even when you participate, it's almost a 6 months process when you start filling the form till the final Shark Tank pitch. So that journey is also a kind of a journey of self development, because you never see your business from an angle where everybody is going to see it. So
Yeah.
then you start different aspects of it. How big is your team? Whether your team is efficient or not? What are line if you have to speak about your business in 30 seconds? What would you say? So you start figuring out a lot of things. So that is the best thing that can happen to anybody, irrespective of you get a deal or you get aired or you don't get aired. But it is a great journey.
That's so nice. So, now can you describe the process of creating products and how do you source materials for productions and what are some raw materials used?
So we source our raw material from different sources. Like it's a combination of industries, it's domestic donors, domestic givers. I would say people who would like to sell their scrap, and then municipal corporation.
Is there a greater level of effort involved in creating upcycling products as opposed to first-hand fashion products?
Yes, it's a very long process. I mean,
Yeah.
we are right now, in fact, working on making our production a bit faster and less human intensive, because each scrap that comes to you comes in different shapes, different sizes, different forms. So you have to first check the condition of the scrap, and then you have to go through intensive cleaning process. Then you have to sun dry it, and we try to be the new resources which we add while making the product also needs to be very sustainable in nature. For example, if we are using paints and stains, we try to use vegetable stains and lead free paints. So the whole after cleaning and drying, the decision of what to combine with what happens, and then based on what product line we are designing, then we hire relevant artisans for it. Like if something which needs carpentry, we need to have a team of carpenters. Something which needs weaving, we need to have weavers. Something which needs painting needs to have a painter. So then after artisan group is decided, we explain and handhold the artisans how to do the product, and then eventually it's after it's done, it's made waterproof and sturdy in nature by some kind of coating. And yeah, then packaging is done. And yeah, that's all. That's the process.
Yes, the process sounds really interesting and it also sounds time consuming as well. So, do you only sell directly to consumers or do you also sell to retailers or wholesalers?
We do. We also like we are trying to be a D2C brand only, but right now, since our volumes are low, we are open to retail collaborations. We are also open to wholesalers, distributors, exports, everything.
So, do you also sell your products internationally?
It is international. It is crazy. India is not even 1% of it. So international market is really, really good for sustainable goods because, like
Yeah,
I said, when you who are your consumers, so more educated and more conscious you are, you will
true,
definitely buy products because it's going to impact your lifestyle in a positive way.
true.
So, America, Europe, these are all developed countries. So people are more aware of what they are buying, what they are using. So, of course, I mean, as India also develops in 10 years, the kind of sustainable market which India will have will be almost 100x of what we have today.
Absolutely. So, what methods do you use for marketing your products?
Right now, we are going in a very, very organic and very frugal way because we have a bootstrapped company and
Yeah,
uh, we haven't taken investment yet. So we use Instagram. We use a lot of social media for marketing, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube, and a lot of offline activities like doing workshops, going to schools, and talking to people. And even in our retail stores, which we have right now, we always try to educate the. So we are trying to, right now, just educate, and then a lot of word of mouth happens, and automatically the marketing is done.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges that have been encountered in this journey?
Challenges, I mean, this whole, any new idea which happens for the first time in a professional way or as a business is always very challenging because no one has done it before. So you can't follow a model. Like right now, I don't have somebody to look up to. That, okay, this is how it is done. Okay, I'll also do this, and it's done. So you're figuring out a lot of things for the first time. So that's a big challenge. So there is no support system. Like there is no certification for upcycle products. Like if I have to sell internationally and American market needs a quality check certification, in government of India doesn't have any certificate. So,
got it.
there are a lot of things not there because nobody ever did it. Probably if 1,000 companies start upcycling, there has to be some certification of who is doing it right, doing it wrong. So that is a challenge. And then, since scrap already has negative, negative, what do I say, negative image
Yeah,
uh, in our heads. So the whole process of procuring, convincing the artisans to work on scrap, and then selling, asking your store manager to sell the product, it's very challenging because
true.
kind of negativity that people carry, breaking that, educating them, it's a difficult task. So yeah, I think these will always remain a challenge till people get educated themselves and become more open minded and flexible. So yeah.
Okay, so the theme of Halt Price 2022-2023 is redesigning fashion, right? So can you share your thoughts on fast fashion trend and how it's negatively impacting the environment?
Yeah, fast fashion. I mean, it is. What do I say? It is devastating. I mean, we all have been victim of it. I myself have been shopping from Zara and H&M and a lot of other brands, which I don't know if I should take names. So there are a lot of brands, and the kind of impact it has on our environment, we always overlook it because of the price points. If I know I can buy 1,000 rupees, dress every month, I would just keep buying one dress, 12 dresses in a year, and the kind of resources and energy which is utilized in making fast fashion is crazy. I mean, the kind of toxic fabric dyes and chemicals that are used. So when these clothes are, discarded, they end up in rivers and oceans. They contaminate the fresh water, and the kind of labor, the kind of cheap labor which makes these clothes are also it's a very big exploitation. If you end up going to factory of some of these fast fashion houses, you will see how everybody is working, and you are just trying to reduce the cost of the product by using using anything which can reduce the cost, irrespective of what
Yeah.
it does to you, to the environment. So, uh, fast fashion, you really need to look beyond what you are spending. I mean,
True.
it is cheaper, it is more affordable, and it gives you a sense of fulfillment, a sense of looking good. I mean, everybody wants to look good, and everybody wants to project a way people will appreciate it. So we all end up doing it, and we have been doing it because we were never told. I mean, as
True.
a child, my parents never told me that you buy one quality cloth and then use it for 6 months rather than buying multiple things and just throwing it. So people have a mindset that, okay, let's buy 200 rupees t-shirt, we'll wear it for 20 days, and 200 rupees worth will be taken out. So, why to buy something which is more natural or sustainable in nature? And that's how the whole sustainable industry has got a bit expensive, because the
Yeah.
volumes are so low that there is no other way than everybody collectively accepting sustainable goods.
Yes, and also starting brands like Scrapshala can also contribute a lot, right? So, what advice would you offer to someone interested in starting an upcycling business in countries like Nepal or India?
I would love to help them in whatever capacity I can, and I would encourage anybody who's interested to explore this, because waste as a resource is abundant on our planet,
True.
and it will always remain abundant till we have so much population on earth. So
True.
why not just use it as a resource and create amazing products, and we can really divert a huge volume of wastage from going to landfills and rivers and oceans if we convert them into product which have 5 to 10 years of life. So
Yeah.
just imagine, and in one day you are generating 100 kgs of waste, and maybe you are upcycling 70 kgs of waste into products which have 5-year-old life. So you have reduced 70 kgs for 5 years from going to landfill. So if you
Yeah.
do the mathematics, you will see that it's a value creation for everybody. I mean, and I would say this is the right time also to do a upcycling business, because we all have gone through COVID and we have seen how powerful nature is. So if you are going to mess with it, you know what's going to happen.
True.
So I think it's the time when all have experienced climate change, we all have experienced pollution, we all have experienced virus outbreak, and we really know that we need to change the way how we conduct our lifestyles and what we pass on to our next generation.
That's great. So, can you also tell some mistakes that one can avoid in the process?
I mean, we are also still learning every day, so there's not one thing, but I would say that when you are upcycling, never confuse it with craft. So
Okay.
craft is something I can do right now while talking to you, while giving this podcast, and it can go into dustbin in an hour. Like I make something while sitting watching TV, and it just goes
Yeah.
to dustbin in an. So you made something, but did it have a life? So when you are upcycling, you have to see that it has a life of 5 to 10 years. The product you are making, and when a consumer is buying it, he should find worth in it. So you can only make it successful when it's value for money. If
True.
you're making a product which is also expensive, that's also okay, but it has to be that good in quality, that good in its lifespan, and in functionality that somebody buys it. So I would just say that never take upcycling as art and craft.
Got it. So, as you mentioned earlier, that educating the consumers is really important when it comes to upcycle products, right? So, how can one educate about upcycle products?
I mean, you can follow. I mean, everybody is there on internet today,
Yeah.
and there are brands like Scrapshala who are really doing a lot of work. You can check
Yeah.
out our page. You can read blogs about why upcycling is important, and I think our education also has environmental science as one of the major
Yeah.
subjects. And read that what's recycling, what's upcycling, why we should upcycle, and as parents, as young parents, people could also educate their kids and start doing these practices of upcycling. Like eco brick making is a very
Yeah.
uh, task which everybody can do at their houses, and which can completely cut off the plastic from going into their dustbins.
True.
So such practices, when a child sees in their household from a very young, it becomes normal to them. Like for
Yeah.
some people, plastic on street, on the beaches is very normal because that's what they have seen in their life. So it's not that it's their mistake, it's just that it's very normal to them. Throwing things away on the dustbin or littering around is as normal to them as probably breathing.
True.
So parents need to tell them, okay, this is not right. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's the way to educate.
Thank you so much, Sikhadi, for taking your time to join on this podcast. Like, we really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Thank you so much, Didi.
Thank you so much.
So, that was the journey of Scrapshala. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out the products by Scrapshala and check them on their social media platforms. You can find all the links in the description of this podcast episode. If you like what we do, please share our podcast with your friends and family. And also, for more updates, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Spotify. Thank you so much. Namaste.